What bottles of bourbons and whiskeys did I get to close out the year of 2024? Let's find out. What is going on, everybody? Nathan here with the Everyday Drinker, bringing you guys the first video of 2025. 2024 was absolutely amazing, and what's a better way to close out the year and start the new one than with doing the end of the year bourbon haul. Before we get into my bottles, though, as always, I want to know what your bottles of whiskeys are that you picked up for the year, for the end of 2024, are down in the comments below. I always like to see what you guys get. This was BTACS season and Pappy season and allocated season, so I know a bunch of you guys got some awesome bottles. But without further ado, let's get into my first bottle. So a couple of these bottles are going to be gifts, and I will let you know which bottles those are. And bottle number one is going to be a gift. This is the Eric LeGrand single barrel bottle of bourbon. This one right here was a gift from Eric himself when we did his review on the channel of his single barrel when he came over. And man, oh man, this bottle is absolutely delicious. Absolutely love this bottle. It's been making its ways across the states, and I love to see that for him. So bottle number one, Eric LeGrand single barrel bottle of bourbon, coming in at 52% alcohol, which is 104 proof, to a nod to his football number that is retired at Rutgers University. Let's get to bottle number two. Bottle number two is going to be one that scored very high on our whiskey of the year categories. This is Limestone Farms Private Stock, coming in at 113.6 proof. This right here was a gift from Tom, one of the guys over at Limestone Farms. When I did the review of Limestone Farms, absolutely fell in love with that bottle, and Tom went out of his way to send me this beautiful bottle of whiskey right here, and I can't thank Tom enough. Make sure you guys go check out the link down below for Limestone Farms, because they have a bunch of other releases. They've got a brand new one coming out that is going to be, I believe, sub $50, which is absolutely amazing. That's what we all wanted as the whiskey community from Limestone Farms, was a bottle that was a little bit more affordable, and they are listening to what we were asking for. So make sure you check out Limestone Farms. But let's get to bottle number three. Bottle number three goes to an Old Forester 100 proof single barrel bottle of bourbon. My buddy Kevin, if you guys remember Old Forest Cherry Pie, that one blew up like crazy. Well, he came out with a second bottle, and this is going to be Old Forest's Box of Chocolates. Now, this is Warehouse J Floor 7, coming in, like I said, at 100 proof. Cracked this open the other day, and it is darn delicious. I got to go back into it and find those small, subtle nuances this has to offer, because a lot of those warehouses have different things to offer, especially at different floors. And this one is wonderful. But I do want to go back into this thing and see what the small subtleties that this has to offer compared to other ones. This bottle right here ran me about $60, and I can't go wrong with this bottle of bourbon right here. Let's get to bottle number four. If you guys remember, we did a Christmas review, and I reviewed this bottle right here. This is the Benchmark Bonded, and these two bottles right here were gifts from a subscriber and Patreon, Josh. And I couldn't thank Josh enough for giving and gifting this bottle to me. One bottle that I've been looking for a very long time, and it's not an expensive bottle whatsoever. Benchmark Bonded runs you about $20, and it is absolutely wonderful for what it has to offer. So that's bottle number four. Bottle number five was another bottle that he sent my way, which is the Very Old Barton. This is the 100 proofer. Very Old Barton, I think they've got 86, 100, and a bottle that's right over 100 proof. And I think that here in Jersey, we only get the under 100 proof, which I believe is 86 proof or 90 proof. Don't quote me on that. But this right here, cracked it open the day he sent it to me, and I was very surprised at how actual good this bottle is. It's not fantastic, don't get me wrong in any means, but for the price, can't go wrong with that bottle right there. And same thing goes for the Benchmark Bonded. So there's bottles 4 and 5. Let's get to bottle number 6. Bottle number 6 is going to go to Jack Daniel's Coy Hill. This one is 131.0 proof, we've done a review of this bottle. It went through Whiskey of the Year. I just haven't done a haul video in God knows how long. But this one right here, we did manage to score at MSRP when walking into a store for about $77 or something along those lines. And it's darn good juice, but it's not cracked up to be the hype that is all around this bottle right here. Really, really good bottle, but not worth the $350 to $400 that it's going for on secondary markets. But take that with a grain of salt. You know, if you're all about the high proof Jack Daniels, then this bottle is probably for you. You just know that I personally love all of the ryes. A little bit more than the bourbons, but this one, it's probably my favorite Jack Daniels bourbon that I've ever had. Let's get into bottle number 7. Bottle number 7 is going to go to the Barrel Bourbon New Year 2025. This one's coming in at 112.1 proof. And it's a blend of a lot of things. It's got Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Wyoming, New York, Texas, Ohio, and Maryland whiskey all blended inside this one bottle with a mash bill of 75% corn, 20% rye, 4% malted barley, and 1% wheat, with the youngest whiskey in here being 5 years and the oldest being at 15 years. So, really, really interesting. I don't know how Barrel manages to make delicious whiskey with so many different things, but it's possible, and Barrel is one of the only ones out there that does it like you wouldn't believe. We'll be doing a review of this one here very, very shortly for you all, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Make sure you guys drop the like for today's video. Like I said, leave that comment on what bottles you were able to snag, and make sure you guys smash that subscribe button, because Friday we are doing the 10,000 subscriber Buffalo Trace Trio set winner. So if you aren't aware, one lucky person gets the chance to win all 3 of these Buffalo Trace bourbons on the bar: an E.H. Taylor small batch, a Blanton single barrel, and also an Eagle Rare 10-year single barrel. So you've got a couple more days to get entered into the 10,000 subscriber giveaway to get your chance to win this trio set. But without further ado, let's get into the big bottles that we got for 2024 at the end of the year. Bottle number 8 is going to go to a Weller full proof. These bad boys coming in at 114 proof, which all of the full proofs coming in at 114 proof. But this is the Adelphia's pick. They just recently got their pick in. I think they're doing bundles and stuff along those lines with these bottles right now, with a couple of their other store picks, and you can't go wrong with everything that comes out of that store. If you're in the East Brunswick or Central Jersey area, make sure you check in at Adelphia's, go to the bourbon room, see what they've got to offer, because every so often he does throw some of his really fun allocated bottles and picks on the shelf for you to pick up and walk out with at a very reasonable price. But let's get to bottle number 9. Bottle number 9 is one that we just picked up in the most recent hunt video. This is the Old Forester Barrel Proof Rye. This one is Warehouse K, Floor 1, coming in at 128.2 proof. And it is some really good whiskey in this bottle right here. I'm already underneath the top of the bottle there, and I'm not sad about it whatsoever, because this is an absolute dime of a bottle of rye that I absolutely love. It is a true unicorn to me. I had only found one other bottle sitting on the shelf that I was able to pick up, and I wasn't really into ryes when I got it, so I did a little trade for a Weller Full Proof back in the day, and now that I found a second one, I was ecstatic for finding that for $77. Can't go wrong with that in my personal opinion. But let's get into our next bottle that we picked up for the end of the year. The next bottle of whiskey we got was another gift to us from Blue Note themselves. This is the Blue Note Honey Bourbon Cask, and this is what I believe could be one of the best finished bourbons on the market right now. This is coming in at 115.7 proof, and I say it all the time that Barrel does finished whiskeys properly, and Blue Note follows suit with this one right here. It's not overly honey, it's not overly sweet, but what you do get is the honey influence on top of the bourbon itself, and that's how it's supposed to be done. You get some of those sweet subtleties of the honey, but the predominant note in this bourbon is bourbon, and that to me is how it's supposed to be done. And I absolutely love this Blue Note honey cask finish. Let's get into our last finished whiskey that we got this year, which goes to Barrel Ice Wine cask finished, coming in at 106.52 proof. This is coming in at 5 years old, with the oldest whiskey in here being 15 years. And this one did win the best bourbon of the year of low proof, and rightfully so. It's done right, done well, done deliciously. And that ice wine just adds a complexity to this bourbon that is like no other. I've absolutely fallen in love with this bottle, and I am drinking it very, very slowly. I've given it to people that really aren't big fans of barrel, and I've blinded it for them, and they absolutely love it. And I absolutely love that for them, knowing that this bottle is as good as it is. But let's get into our last three bottles, the big heavy hitters of 2024. First heavy hitter at the end of the year for 2024 goes to Stag Jr. Batch 24B. This one is coming in at 127.8 proof. If you guys watched the live stream, you guys know that this bottle came in last place for all the stags that we have on the bar. But nonetheless, it's a darn good pour for what it is. I want to get my hands on the 24C just to compare all three of the stag releases of the year. But nonetheless, I do think that the 24A, after blinding them, is a little bit better than the B. But that is, up to whatever you all think could be the better ones, right? Stags are stags. They're all going to be good in their own way. But this one here did fall a little short from the 24A. Let's get into our next big hitter. Our first BTAC of the year goes to the George T. Stag 2024, coming in at a whopping 136.1 proof. And it drinks all of that and then a little bit of some extra, but it's darn good stuff. With the 5 stags that we had in the blind, the 2024 George T. Stag did come in first place, and it deserved that rightful position of first place because it was absolutely phenomenal. It drank its age, it drank its proof, it drank with the finish that you're expecting and the quality of whiskey that you were expecting this to have. And it is absolutely wonderful, and very, very pleased to get this bottle for $200. I would do it all over again. And yeah, that's our first BTAC, which means we've got another BTAC. That's right. Our last bottle of 2024 goes to Eagle Rare 17. That's right. We were able to get our hands on a bottle of Eagle Rare 17, which I never thought would be a possibility. When I got the text that I had won a lottery and could get this bottle at MSRP at $145, I said, yeah, definitely I want that over the other option that I had, which was the Van Winkle or the Old Rip Van Winkle 10-year. I think that this one right here is going to be a little bit better than that one, which it is absolutely deliciously phenomenal. And you guys will see the review of this next week. I believe that's going to go up on Monday. So if you want to hear a review of a bottle that you never really hear about or see and just see on secondaries being thrown around with trades and whatnot, make sure you stick around and tune in on Monday for the review of the 2024 Eagle Rare 17 year. So you guys have it. These were the bottles that we were able to snag for the last couple of months of 2024. Like I said, I want to know what bottles you were able to get. Leave those in the comments below. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. Go check out the link below for the Instagram post to get in on the 10,000 subscribe giveaway, which is happening on Friday. But until next time, let's have a fantastic 2025. This has been Nathan with the Everyday Drinker. Cheers.